Welcome to Whose Show Is It Anyways? Brought to you by the Iron Ostrich Network. It's a new company, network, I guess we should call it, Ronnie, that we're putting together for the Anomalies group and Off the Rails Pod and a couple other ones that we have in the works. And this is a new show, and this is our first one. So it's weird, but let's talk about it.
It's going to get really weird. Like, to be honest, the concept of this show is basically there's a cast of 7 characters. They're hosts of either Off the Rails or the Anomalies. They get thrown into a randomizer. 2 people pop out. Those 2 people host the show, and they take a topic that the 5 people that didn't get picked throw out. Those 5 topics get randomized. And then you make those 2 hosts talk about that topic for however long the podcast goes. So, I mean, you could hear, Tanner and Tone debate whether or not dairy is a good product or not. Or you could hear me and Marco bitch about smoothies and talk about smoothies. You could hear, it's just a host of, basically it's going to be a shit show no matter what. You could get really fun topics, really interesting topics. You could have your co-hosts screw you over and give you a topic you don't want to talk about, but you still have to make it entertaining. It's just kind of a cool little wrinkle. So every week it'll be something different, 2 different hosts. You don't have to hear me talk. You don't have to hear Marco talk because no one wants to hear him talk in the first place. So just a cool little deal.
So we drew the short straw. Me and Ronnie both get to be the first host. And our topic today is music.
And to be honest, the fact that we're the first one is kind of a shit show in itself, because anyone who knows, Marco usually shows up to podcasts late, and I usually don't prepare for podcasts. I kind of just talk.
I was a half an hour early, and I just decided I'm going to amp this bitch up a little bit because I found my Alaskan Thunderfuck vape. So let's get lit.
Oh, God. Yeah. So our topic is music. And I don't know which way you want to go with it, Marco, but like music's like a really, really broad topic. You could go anywhere from like, where did music start? You could talk about like what artists or what music like basically has created generations. Like, for instance, I grew up in the, Lil Wayne, Drake. That was everything my friends listened to. That was all our walkout music. That was everything in sports. It was kind of like that generation. And you're old as shit, so I'm guessing you listened to Beethoven, right?
So, just for the listeners, you are 25?
I'm 25.
25. So, obviously, your generation sucks. I turned
pretty
40
much
this year. And so, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I kind of grew up in a weird era where my teenage years was the late 90s, and where I was kind of coming up and doing the bar scene and all that stuff. It was the early 2000s, so there's a lot of NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. We were obviously, all of us were obsessed with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. We see how far that's gotten us because Britney Spears is batshit.
Have you seen the documentary? There's a documentary on Hulu about.
I have not. I want
to watch it.
Yeah, I think I want to watch it because I always had a thing for her. Like, I think I'm either a year older than her or she's a year older than me. So I always had that weird thing where I was like, man, if I ever had the chance. But now I don't know, man. She's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, that whole situation is kind of odd because she doesn't have control of her money.
Or anything, it seems like.
Like anything at all. Like, she can't, I don't think she can post on social media without checking in it with her fucking lawyer or her parents.
But how common is that? Like, let's look at people like Michael Jackson. He couldn't do anything without either talking to his publicist or, in some cases, his dad, who's a fucking psychopath. It's just, is there a point where you just get so big that you just can't do anything that normal people can do?
I mean, yeah. I mean, just think of it in this way: like Britney Spears, batshit crazy. Miley Cyrus, batshit crazy.
I love her so much. Is that a thing for me? I think that's a thing for me. I like the crazy women, for lack of a better term, because I love Miley Cyrus.
Maybe that's why you've been married 3 times.
You know what? They have a lot in common except for the singing part.
the talent part.
The talent, yeah. Except for the talent, like they're dead on. Just
all just the crazy. The crazy is the only thing they have in common, but I mean that's the majority of it.
So we've talked privately about like our love for country music, which I know that you like a lot. I actually didn't really get into it till I think I was about 18, 19 years old. I despised country before that. But since I made the turn, I feel like it's something I listen to more than anything. I've noticed that it changes my mood, because I grew up on like gangster rap too, like Tupac and Biggie and all that was that was the early or late 90s for me, early 90s when I was kind of like coming of age. So I love all that music, but I do feel like it changes your mood. You are more angry or shorter, but with like, I don't know, with country, it just seems like things are a little bit more mellow and calm.
It evens you out. That's the way I've always talked about it. And like, so I grew up, for those who don't know, I grew up in a trailer park. I listened to Waylon, Merle, and Hank.
That was going to say Eminem.
Oh no. I don't think I listened to rap until I was 14 or 15. Yeah, because it just wasn't like, I grew up in a very small area, so like rap music wasn't big until until the Drake and Eminem era. Really, that was when it blew up here. And then we have a park called Minor Street Park, and then there's a Minor Street Park gang that was blasting fucking the Carter 3 running down the road. Oh, great album. But it's just funny how a bunch of hicks from a small town instantly turn into gangsters as soon as Lil Wayne busts out.
But that's just everywhere. Like, I live in the middle of fucking Iowa, and you would not believe how many wanksters show up.
God.
Playing, everything. And they're jacked up, F-250 trucks, listening to, anything, everything, like from Soulja Boy to Ludacris to Eminem. It's crazy that shit has no boundaries, and everybody loves that music. Well, not everybody, but
the Soulja Boy thing. What was that song? Crank That. That? So we had a girl move from, I think she was from LA. Moved from LA up here. Her parents bought a hotel here, and she was the first person to ever really bring like rap music around here. So I guess I listened to rap music a little bit before that. I was probably like 12 or 13. But she was playing Soulja Boy, and me and my friends were like, "What the fuck is this chick doing?" I was like, "What the fuck is a Crank That? Who's a Soulja Boy? Is this guy fucking in the USMC? Like what?"
So
I was so fucking confused.
There's a chance I'm going to learn you something. If I don't learn you something, I'm definitely going to learn anybody listening. Do you know what Superman That Hoe stands for?
Not really. It just sounds catchy to my opinion.
So what's the line? Watch me, you, and then Superman That Hoe. So what he means is, and this is what it's been described to me, is that's when you're banging a chick doggy style. You skeet, skeet, skeet on the back. And then you grab a napkin or a paper towel and you slap it on there because then she becomes Superman because it sticks to her like a cape.
That's
the way it's been explained to me. Superman That Hoe. Look that up.
What the fuck? That honestly, that's like the second most surprise because Superman That Hoe, like I knew it had to be something like semi-sexual. That's like the first time I heard what a blumpkin is. I thought blumpkin was just a funny word. And then I was in college and I was working with this guy who was probably about your age. And he was making a joke and he said, "Oh yeah, blumpkin night." And I was like, "The fuck?" And he kept saying it. And I'm like, "You really just love that word. It's just a fun word to say." He's like, "No, it's blumpkin night." I was like, "Is that like a food? Are you like going to get Thai food?" And he explained to me what a blumpkin was, a blowjob on the toilet. And I was like, the fuck? People actually do that?
So, I don't know. I heard that term too. I don't think there's anything I'd ever venture to try myself.
No.
Because it just seems so unsanitary. You know what I mean?
Very much so. See, anyone listening to this is probably what's going to happen on about 90% of these. We're talking about music. Now we're talking about blumpkins because we were talking about a rap lyric. So
it happens.
It's going to be a shit show.
Right.
No, but So you were talking about country music before. Like, what was the first artist you listened to where you're like, oh, all right, I kind of get this?
So I grew up roofing, and obviously when you're doing construction, there's always radios going. I was roofing with this guy who was a lot bigger than I was, and he listened to country music, so I couldn't tell him to change the channel. So I kind of, the time when this all went down, it was right around when Kenny Chesney came out with "She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy." So that was on the radio all the time, and I'd heard a couple other of his songs, and I actually got tickets to go see him here locally one night, and it was before, like that was kind of where he skyrocketed after that song came out, because he was still doing smaller venues, which is where I got to see him and actually meet him. He's a really tiny fella. I mean, if anybody knows,
Oh yeah,
Kenny Chesney is a little fella. He could be like a jockey. But I got so I got to go see him, and then like the rest follow, like Tim McGraw, and then I fought real hard against Garth Brooks, because I was like, I know if I like Garth Brooks, that means I'm all in on country. So I fought it for a long time. But son of a bitch, man, I heard some songs like fucking, I don't know, Desperado and Thunder Rolls and like all these other songs, and I'm like, shit, I think I'm all in on country.
I have a buddy of mine who grew up in the Bay Area, listens to like, some real gangster rap shit. He's like a E40 fanboy.
Some hood shit.
So yeah, like some really just not, you wouldn't expect him to listen to country music. And he comes up and he'll go to, a party up here and there. And as soon as he comes up here, he's got his Justin boots on and he's fucking blaring fucking what's his damn name, Emerald Sky. I'm trying to remember the name of the artist.
Jason Aldean.
Come on, I know. I was just listening to that earlier too. He's like listening to Jason Aldean and like shit like that. And I'm like, Ty, what are you doing? He's like, what, man? It's springtime. It's almost summer. That means it's country music season.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of music changing with the weather, but hey.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that rap music was winter music. Like,
it's because you're so angry and you got to like amp up because it's cold.
Like, I don't think Little John should be blaring around Christmas time. Like, let's be honest. But
I mean, maybe.
It depends where you grew up, what your family's like.
That's funny you mentioned that. The Amarillo Sky was my now 16-year-old daughter when she was younger. That song came out, and that was one of her first favorite country songs. But she used to call it Another Round, because in that song I keep saying another round in the track.
Yeah.
So that's what she used to call it. And there's like a Randy Houser song. There's a few good songs. She knew, this is how good I had her. She was so good at knowing country singers that when she heard Sugarland, she goes, "Oh, Dad, it's your girlfriend," because I fucking love Jennifer Nettles. And every time she heard her voice, she knew. She's like, "Oh, Dad, it's your girlfriend." And I've got to see her sing live too. And I'll tell you right now, that freaking jockey of a woman has the biggest lungs and the biggest voice of anybody I've ever seen. Yeah. If you ever get a chance to see Jennifer Nettles, please go do that. She is phenomenal. I love her so much, and it's not being biased.
Huh. So what was your favorite concert you ever went to?
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock?
I got to go to Kid Rock in 1999. It was when Joe C was still alive, and it was Kid Rock's birthday. It's in July. So we went to what was called, I don't remember what it was called back then, or now even, because they keep changing the damn name of these venues. But I was second row in the upper balcony, and it was his birthday. And they were like passing around blunts, and he had up him on stage, and he was smoking, and Joe C was smoking, and everybody was like having the best time. But was it Seven Dust, I think, opened for him? Is that a band? Seven Dust? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
A black lead singer. He had like the dreadlocks, but he was like a hardcore rock guy. Anyways, so when they brought Kid Rock out, they turned all the lights off, and then you could just hear the very faint ba with the ba, the pang and dang diggy, and then Like they start building it up, and then he pops out of the center of the stage in a big ass white fur coat. Spotlights come on. There's two strippers or a stripper on each end of the stage. And he comes out and he's got his white pimp hat on. And he starts out with Ba with the Ba. And that was right when Only God Knows Why was a big song. So everybody had their lighters out. But man, that fucking concert was so much fun.
I don't know what it is about like some like Kid Rock reminds me of like a party rock country mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite concert was, I was really young when I went to it, but Big and Rich.
Oh yeah, I've been to two of those.
That's one of the best party concerts in the world when they were going.
Fucking right. I wonder if that was the same time because they were coming to our fairs here, and they broke records 2 years in a row at 35,000 people for our fucking tiny ass fair.
It was the We're Coming to Your City tour.
Well, we did it for a fair, so I don't know if it was that, but that could have been through that tour because it was packed, man. I don't think they've broke that record since.
I really wish my area like actually got like, we've only had like 2 or 3 really good like fair acts ever. One of them is really cool, but we had Merle Haggard the year before he passed away. Damn. That was the coolest one. And I got like I paid so much money for these fucking tickets. I got backstage passes. Because Merle Haggard's like literally my favorite artist. Mama Tried was my ringtone until about 2 months ago.
What is it now?
What is it now? It's what is it? I forgot what it is.
Damn, you fucked up.
Share If You Want To by Luke Combs.
Okay.
Just because I fucking love that song. I don't know.
One of my favorite ringtones of all time, and this is kind of sound fucked up and morbid, but it's me, so it's fine. So this is way before your time. Back when the Nokia brick phone was still a thing, you used to punch the button so many times, and it would give you like a tone, like a beep at a certain thing. So I went and I found all the buttons to push for the song Kim by Eminem. So every time my phone ring, it'd go all the way through, and that was my ringtone because you couldn't even play songs. You just had to fucking push the buttons and get the sequence down.
You like have to be like a sound mixer to fucking get your ringtone to go, just so it sounds even a semblance like what it should. Like, oh, is that Kim by Eminem, or is that just dude having a stroke on a phone? I don't know.
Oh, man. The other thing I was talking about the other day is, you know how when you call somewhere and they put you on hold and they have that shitty music?
Oh, yeah.
I wish that you had like a number associated with your phone number that like you had your own playlist when you were put on hold somewhere else. Like you're listening to the own music that you want to listen to. I think that should be done.
Do you know what? I've had this theory for a while. You know, like when you call like your cable provider or like your DirecTV, your Dish, and they put you on hold and they have that stupid fucking elevator music. I literally.
Were you listening to what I just fucking said? That's what I just fucking said.
I'm just clarifying those services. I think they put on the elevator music just so you hang up and they don't have to deal with you.
Oh,
like literally, I have literally sat on hold with AT&T for like 45 minutes. And by the end of it, I wanted to shoot myself in the head because I'm just like, I don't want to hear Beethoven's 3rd and 4th Symphony again, followed by, you are a valued customer of ours at AT&T. No, if I was a valued customer, you'd fucking pick up the phone.
So you brought up a couple good points, and I was going to wait to bring this up because I figured if we ran out of things to talk about, which clearly we won't because we both love music, but we've already talked about 2 things that are, they say, like a weird coincidence or like random facts about music. So 1 in 5 country music songs refers to alcohol.
True.
1 in 3 refers to tears.
True.
And 1 in 7 have the word mama in it.
Goddamn, that's pretty close. It's like country music's either about heartbreak, getting drunk, or what was it? Or trucks.
But it's such
That-
like it's such a it seems like such a negative thing. Like,
it's
people are
not
like,
negative.
all country music's about trucks and dogs, and no, it's about fucking real life and emotions, and it's sometimes it's just good to do
Do
it.
you know, I had a buddy of mine in college. He was like, yeah, country music's lame. It only talks about like 5 topics. And I'm like, yeah, but doesn't it sound like fun to drive down a dirt road with a girl, a dog, and a 12-pack of beer? Even if she breaks up with you, at least you got 10 more beers.
It's not always the dog, though.
Exactly. And he's just like, I mean, you're kind of right. And I'm like, no, I am right, you dumb bitch.
One of the other things that you mentioned in a 2007 study found that music, classical in particular, can help plants grow faster. Now that one I have, yeah. So classical music can make plants grow faster, which makes sense if you ever like listen to Rogan or something, because he says like they're an intellectual being, but also, and I've only heard that like if like infants listen to classical music, that makes
I've heard of
brain
that.
smarter. So I don't know if the two things are related, but it could be a thing.
I wonder if that's why I'm dumb, because I listened to Merle Haggard as a baby.
I mean, I won't say you're not wrong.
I mean, listening to...
I won't say you're wrong. Either way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Might be wrong, might be right. Who knows? Maybe a little too much Hank.
Did you
Maybe
know
not enough
that
Beethoven?
And I definitely did not know this till I read this. Not a single member of the Beatles could read or write music.
That sounds about right.
How I don't understand how that's like a thing. Like, don't you like when you're writing music? Aren't you supposed to?
Well, think of it in like terms nowadays. Like most like rappers or musicians, they listen to a melody and that's what they write off of. So if you hear something, like I'm sure they might have had like someone playing a tune to them and then they just memorize the tone. Because that's possible.
Drumline.
That's what
You're talking about Drumline?
Basically, yeah. Like I don't know how to fucking read or write music.
By the way. Drumline's a fantastic movie.
I faked my way through fucking 6th grade band because I just learned how the sounds were.
So you're Drumline. You're Nick Cannon?
Yeah, but I played the fucking flute. Because I didn't want to play the trombone because I didn't want to have it, my shoulders were fucked up.
I don't know. I guess, well, they say that, what is it, like, there's only like 4 chords or four things that you can, like, all music's basically the same. That's why a lot of songs, the instrumental part matches up with other songs, because there's only so many patterns you can go before you just run out of them.
I remember there was a lawsuit not too long ago. It was Ice Ice Baby and what other song?
Under Pressure.
Yeah, the beats are so close that
he definitely sampled from that. But there's other songs like Robin Thicke had Blurred Lines. There was enough crossover with him, and I think it was the OJs or one of the groups from, or maybe it was Temptations, but there was enough crossover between the way the song sounded. They were like, cool. And they gave him like a shit ton of money.
I bet. Like, music's a giant racket if you really think about it.
100%. Have you ever seen, I don't know, any of the movies, especially like Straight Outta Compton? That really laid it out.
Oh, God. That's like, I literally watched Straight Outta Compton like last week. And
for the first time?
No, it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Great movie.
So what's funny about Straight Outta Compton is my wife didn't know who NWA was at all. Okay. And I was like, I'm gonna go watch this movie. We were dating. She's like, oh, well, I'll go with you. And I said, it's kind of a different movie. She's like, is it like a weird movie? And I said, no, it's kind of like it's like a biography, but not. It's like about like this group called NWA. I'm like, I don't know if you know who they are. She said, I don't know who they are. And we freaking get in the theater, and it's right. I think it's the very first scene where they're the concert. The first concert. Oh, and she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, this is NWA. She's like, wait, these are, and I'm like, yeah, like that's Ice Cube there, that's Dr. Dre. Like, and I had to like lay it out for her. She's like, wait, Dr. Dre didn't just sell headphones?
Oh my God.
Like, because my wife doesn't know anything about like, like
Right.
older rap. And like, I like old rap music. Ice Cube is one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
But that's also because the Raider connection and everything. But no, and we watched that whole movie, and No Vaseline. I
No
think
Vaseline is such a fantastic song.
It's a banger.
He
I think
obliterated those guys.
I think we played No Vaseline, no joke, for like the next 2 months on repeat. Like
there is something very special about a diss like No Vaseline.
And the thing is, not many disses have been like that. Like, you think about like modern disses, like
Eminem absolutely fucking buried Ja Rule.
Yeah,
Buried. Like he dug a 12-foot hole, he put Ja Rule in it, battered and beaten, and then poured concrete all the way up to the top. Jesus, Eminem destroyed that man and Benzino. Those Eminem's disses together, cumulative, are the greatest thing ever. And then I know this is an unpopular opinion, but MGK got his ass.
I honestly agree with that.
Rap Devil is phenomenal.
I think so. Here's the thing: lyrically, if you look at him lyrically, Eminem was better lyrically.
Sure.
But if you're looking at the better diss,
right,
and the better song, it was Rap Devil, in my opinion. Because like Kill Shot was like a decent song.
It was all right. And I love Eminem. I grew up on that shit. I remember when he did the TRL takeover. I'm all in on Eminem. But man, I thought MGK won that. What you gotta go, Tupac or Biggie? Which one are you doing?
Tupac. Tupac.
West Coast, bro. You gotta.
I love it. Like, I think so. I bought a Monte Carlo when I was in high school, right? It had a fucking little cassette player and everything. And I went to the Goodwill and I was like, oh, it doesn't take DVDs, so I can't bump my, DVDs, or not DVDs, CDs. So I was like, oh, I'll look around. And I found a fucking Tupac little tape. And I was like, oh, I'll play this. And fucking California Love was the first song that I ever played.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like bumping it with my shitty ass speakers. I'm 16 years old, just bought a car for the first time. Just like California Love. Just go like this.
But when you hear that initial fucking drop, you're like, oh, I'm all in.
Yeah. It was one of the funniest things. I pull up into I think it was the junior park. No, I wasn't even a junior then. I pull up in the parking lot at high school, and I was like bumping fucking Tupac, and I drove by our principal, and I'm like sitting there, and I have my seat kicked way back like this, and I have straight arm, and I'm like listening to California Love bob in my head, and she's just like, you dumb son of a bitch, you were riding horses down the road from me the other day, now you're bumping Tupac?
They actually study his lyrics in some universities.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like
that doesn't surprise me.
That just sucks, man. And I know that Large from Barcelona had covered this, but a lot of artists died at 27 years old, and I think he was either 27 or 28. It's just like, damn, people like him. It's like, what would he have been like now with all the shit going on still to this day? And he died in 96, 95.
Well, think of it this way. Like, Tupac was way bigger than Dr. Dre. He was way bigger than Ice Cube. He was way bigger than everyone, in that era. Dr. Dre's a fucking billionaire. Imagine what Tupac would be with, because he was a smart guy.
Well, he was smart, but he was also, he struggled. He had that inner struggle. Like, he was a businessman, but he was a gangster. And he couldn't get the two of them to work together. I feel like Dr. Dre kind of always was about business.
He thought business. He thought more business-wise. The way I think of it is, I think Tupac would have gotten all of the deals.
Sure.
Like he may not,
Strong-arming him.
yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of sucks to like think of like that type of things because I mean, there's quite a few rappers that died young
Yeah.
that could have been fucking dope. We just got a note. Tupac was 25 when Tupac
Damn.
was my age.
Damn, dude. How many? What crazy catalog of music he already had by 25? Not even speaking about the movies, which he was such a phenomenal actor.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Tupac was selling fucking millions and millions of records at my age. I dump trash for a living, and Biggie was younger than him.
That's fucking crazy.
Biggie was 24. Holy shit. That's like young.
Shit, you want to talk about young? So I just had my children, and well, Bree hadn't seen it either, but I had them watch La Bamba for the very first time. And I mean, if you're a Mexican American, you're like, there's two movies you absolutely, well, three, you have to watch. Selena, Selena movie, not Selena Gomez. Fuck her. Good for her, but fuck her anyways. La Bamba and Blood In, Blood Out. I'm gonna save that one for when my kids are a little older because Blood In, Blood Out's a little rough. But and Madison and Mason didn't know anything about that story. They had no idea what was going to happen. But Bree has seen Ozarks, and there's a scene in Ozarks where they're having that conversation about the day the music died. And then, so we're getting to the end of the movie, and then there's a scene where Buddy Holly, was it Waylon Jennings, and Richie Valens were having a conversation about who was going to get on that plane. And that's when Bree looks at me, and she just starts bawling. She's like, "Oh my God, he's about to die." And it's just so crazy that happened in Clear Lake, Iowa, where they crashed. Richie Valens already with, I don't know if it was a number one hit, but he had already had a couple hits. That fucking dude was 17 years old when he died.
God damn. That's wild. Like, if you really think about it, like some of these people that you look at like as like giants in the industry of whatever. Like, for instance, I was watching the Super Bowl this last weekend. A lot of those motherfuckers are my age.
A weekend?
Yeah, the weekend. Fuck. That guy. All right. What was the worst part about that performance, in your opinion?
So I actually had to drive from my parents to my friend's house during the halftime. I have only got to see the GIF of him walking through, like he fucking lost, and I'm like, I haven't seen the performance, but I want to make a GIF of that so bad.
That performance was. He tried to make every song its own individual music video and just missed. It's miss after miss after miss. Like when he's going through that room, like the little video that they put out on social doesn't do it justice. The motherfucker was almost running into the camera guy. Like he literally looked like he was like lost. Because I really do think he got lost in there for a minute. I think that he was just like, keep the song going. That way I can get the fuck out of here because I think I am lost. Like, it was that bad.
I think the Super Bowl just always has a miss when it comes to that.
Yeah. And here's the thing, though. Like, I was listening to, who was it? KFC and Fights this morning on KFC radio, and they were talking about, like, the Super Bowl halftime show. And I kind of agree with them on this point. Like, the Super Bowl halftime show needs to be, like, either, like, a rock band where there's a wicked, guitar solo, or it needs to be some music that you can actually like dance to. And The Weeknd is not really either.
Right. Where they really fucked up is when they were in Atlanta. Like, if you're in Atlanta, how are you not going to have Outkast and just like, all the big Atlanta, like that was a miss.
I wish they would have done, because I can't remember who Atlanta was, but they should have done like T.I.
Right. T.I., Outkast, like all Ludacris, like none of them.
Like, so the next two Super Bowls are in L.A. and then Vegas. Oh, wait, no, it's It's LA something than Vegas. The Vegas one needs to be some circus type shit. Like, if that one's not the best Super Bowl halftime show of all time, and I'm not saying it because, the Raiders are in Vegas. I'm saying because Vegas is the biggest fucking, like, they should be good at that.
Well, not only that, they have fucking musicians doing tenures there. Britney Spears is running her fucking.
That's what I'm
Vegas,
saying. Like, she has a residency
you know what?
there.
I bet Britney Spears would put on a fucking killer halftime.
Oh, Britney would be a fucking, and maybe by the time that happens, maybe she can actually make her own decisions.
Yeah,
probably not, but I mean, still.
Okay, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna be the bad guy here. What's the over under on how long she makes it? Like,
that's a morbid.
Does she make it till 50? That's all I want to know.
That's a rough one, because I think she makes it to 50. Honestly, I do.
Look at Whitney. Look at I don't know. Is she on drugs? I guess the big thing is,
the thing is,
she's on drugs. She's definitely fucked.
She can't do anything. I think she's basically locked in the basement. She goes to a show and then she goes home. Like,
the boyfriend?
No, it's her parents. Her parents have had her underneath a fucking, like, an order, a court order.
Watch this shit. I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been a thing for a while. There's a whole thing. If you watch the 1 Minute Mans that KFC puts out, he's done a few of them. # Free Britney. And he talks about, like, the conservatorship that she's under. And basically, like, she's been trying to get out of it. But in order to get out of it, she needs a lawyer. But she can't hire a lawyer because the lawyer has to be approved by the lawyer that is running the conservatorship.
God, she's looped into a
she's looped into a fucking, like, some wild shit. But she has a residency in Las Vegas. Like, she pays all her bills and all her parents' bills and, like, a bunch of other shit. Like, I don't think she can touch her money, really.
I'm making a firm decision. I'm watching that fucking documentary.
From what I've heard, it makes, like, everyone else look bad. Like, it makes, like, everyone in the industry when she was coming up look bad. Because if you think about it, Britney became big, she was like 16?
15 or 16, yeah.
So there was an interview.
She did the Disney thing before that.
Yeah, but there's an interview from when she was like 16 or 17 years old, and it's her and this, like, guy from this British interview guy. And he's, like, asking her, like, so what about your breasts? Are they real?
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, back then, people were like, oh, it's just, poking fun jokes, ha, ha, ha. But, like, looking at it in the scope of the way things are now, like, imagine if someone were to ask that in 2021 to, I don't know, any TikTok star.
Well, the fucking music industry is so disgusting.
It's fucking wild. Like, I don't know. There's some real seedy shit that goes on.
Well, isn't the guy who burned NWA, Jerry Heller, isn't that the same dude that fucked over Backstreet Boys and NSYNC?
I don't know.
Or it was Barry. Maybe that was Barry something. But there's always the dirty motherfucker that is trying to get everybody's money.
Lou Pearlman.
It is trying to get everybody's money, and they're just giving them shit deals. And that's not even speaking about the Harvey Weinstein type of people that are, like, gross and trying to get, hey, you got to do some shit to get this album put out. Like, and that the girls did that. It. For a fact that shit happened. And it's like, it's so gross. And then, like, how many, like, why do you think people like Whitney are dead? Probably because they can't handle living a life like that, because how much did she have to sacrifice to be where she was at?
Probably a lot.
Right. That's where the coke problem comes in anyway.
Like, because you can look at it, because, like, there's really dark sides of music, and the fucking deals that get cut are fucking stupid. Like, there was an interview, and I forget who it was, but it was a pretty large country musician, and they're like, how much did you make on Spotify this year? And he's like, $135.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get anything for Spotify.
Apple Music's almost as bad. That's why you don't see people like Garth on there. That's why Taylor Swift wasn't on there for a long time, because of her shit deal she got.
Yeah.
It's just Taylor, we love you. We're a big fan. Please support our
big
podcast.
Taylor Swift podcast.
We really are.
Yeah.
We have put up more Taylor Swift gifts than any other person on earth, I swear.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's funny, because she got fucked over because they sold the rights to her songs for like commercials and shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then she turned around and she went and re-recorded those songs. Like, hey, like, if you want the stuff that I actually recorded and that's actually for me, like, come to me about it.
Right.
And then I think she like called out a company for buying old stuff one time too, like in a TMZ article.
I have a weird relationship with Taylor where
that sounded weird. Low
It
key.
is weird. It's still weird. So I got to see her when she opened for Rascal Flatts, and she was only 15 at the time. Yeah, she was 15 at the time. She opened for Rascal Flatts. Gary Allen was the middle. And I remember seeing her.
That's a fucking banger show.
It was a fucking phenomenal show, let me tell you. Gary Allen, like, my heart bleeds for that guy. I love Gary Allen. He's probably single-handedly.
He has some of the most heartbreaking good songs.
And heartbreaking life. Like, his wife committed suicide, all the whole thing. It's terrible. So Gary Allen's probably like him, Eric Church, and now becoming one of my favorite country guys is Morgan Wallen, who we've talked about that. Or Waylon. Well, I don't know
how do you feel about everything that's
Wait.
Have you not heard about this?
Oh no. What did I miss?
Oh, he got big time canceled.
What?
Dude got caught on fucking video saying the N-word, screaming it in the middle of his street.
Damn it, Morgan.
Do you know? So,
why you gotta ruin this for me?
I'm sorry. I thought you knew. I was gonna text you about it too. I was gonna be like, "Yo, you see this shit?" But no, I still like his music. But one of the funniest tweets I think I've seen recently. So it's this guy taking a video. He's like, "Morgan, man, I'm disappointed. What happened this weekend? I'm really disappointed." And then you hear Morgan Wallen in the background talking, like singing about Chevys. He's like, "I thought you drove a Chevy," because he got into a Ford pickup.
Right.
I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go."
Yeah, but, like the anti or reverse, whatever. Well, that sucks, and I'll have to investigate further before I can tell you if I'm going to continue.
Yeah,
I do love his music.
It was like a doorbell cam from across the road that picked up audio. He was like he got home late and he was drunk. And when I heard it, I didn't completely hear it, but like everyone's saying like, "Oh, I heard it." And I said, personally, the fucking audio sucks, but that's me.
Yeah, I don't know. That part sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Taylor Swift thing. So I didn't let me put this correctly. I fucking hated Taylor Swift when she was a country singer. All her songs were, breakup songs and like how everybody did her wrong. And then I wrote a meme, and I'm sure I've seen it that other people wrote it, like when you hear Taylor Swift, it's like her next song is Maybe I'm the Problem, because she was always crying about how it was all breakup songs, and I couldn't fucking stand her. And then every time she did an award show, she would win an award, and she would be so surprised it'd be her fucking 8th award. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I won." And I'm like, "Bitch, it's called the Taylor Swift Award. Of course you fucking won." But
no shit.
What turned for me was that song that she did where she was making fun of herself. It was that "Look What You Made Me Do," and I saw the video, and she's literally mocking herself for all because she was aware of all the things that I used to hate about her, which was how fake she was and all this stuff. And so that video was about her killing her old persona and becoming this Taylor Swift. And then she did that, and then was it Calm Down? So
I think so.
So it's when she switched to pop, which I don't like pop music either, but it's when she switched to pop that I started appreciating and respecting her. And I like those songs way better because she can own it. Like, hey, I was fucking fake. that's who I used to be, but this is who I am now. If you don't like it, fuck you. And I'm like, cool, I can deal with that.
Yeah, I think it's cool when you see artists do that type of thing, like, turn on a dime. Like the most recent one is Ariana Grande has made like a change out of like the kiddie, like more childish music. Like she put out a song that was, the title is 34 plus 35. It's 69.
I mean, I get it, but actually I didn't get it.
And it's talking, it's like a pretty, like it has some pretty sexual lyrics. But it's just funny to see like the change and like the growth that artists have and like how different artists are now compared to what they were before. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because there's a lot of these artists that we've watched literally grow up from the time they were like 15. Like imagine what's his name? Fucking the yodeling kid if he would have stayed around.
Oh, Mason Ramsey.
Mason Ramsey. Is he doing anything now?
I mean, I'm sure, like, in the background, he's probably always doing something. Like, I follow him on Twitter, but I haven't seen shit lately either, so I think I do anyways.
Do you remember when American Idol was actually, like, popular?
I didn't really...
ever get into it?
I did for, like, a little bit. I like The Voice a lot.
The Voice is actually really good.
Yeah. And my mom and sister got to go to that in LA. They said it was a lot of fun. They said it's pretty consistent with what you see on TV, which I liked. Like, the overproduction and all that shit. I hate that. And I also liked America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent is solid.
Yeah.
I also like that because it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's kind of cool.
There was one other thing. Oh, yeah. So I haven't heard this song, but there's a song called I Write Songs, sang by Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow did not, in fact, write the song called I Write Songs. How fucking ironic is that shit?
That is weird. And it's also weird to think like a lot of our favorite songs by certain artists were not written by them.
Who, talking about ghostwriters now?
No, I'm just meaning in general. It's not like ghostwriters, like credited writing.
Oh,
here's
a great statistic for you. For every $1,000 of music sold, the average musician only makes about $23.
That's
hear that, folks?
Fucked.
We're paying the executives. We're not paying the musician. Go see shows live.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like, does that count like CDs and everything? So that means like if I were to go and I were to buy a Toby Keith CD, cost me fucking $7. Right. Toby probably sees a couple cents of that.
Yes. Out of $1,000, he will see $23. So that's 0.023 or point. Yeah.
God damn.
2 cents. 2.3
Maybe
cents.
Kanye was on to something.
Can you tell me the first and only band to play on all 7 continents?
First and only
band to play on all 7 continents.
Nickelback?
Fuck you. You're going to get so much hate for that. It's Metallica.
Metallica? Well, fuck.
All 7 continents.
I didn't think they... So they played on Antarctica?
Really? Nickelback?
Here's the thing. Nickelback...
You know what Nickelback is? It's your fucking smoothies.
Oh, fuck off. Do you know what's funny about Nickelback is everyone hates Nickelback, but back in the day, everyone fucking bumped Nickelback.
You know what? I used to listen to Nickelback. I don't give a fuck.
It's like one of those things. It's like, it's cool to hate now.
Oh, this is a cool... I like both of these songs a lot, so this is a cool fact. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury plays on the very same piano used by Paul McCartney in Hey Jude. That's cool.
What the fuck?
Bohemian Rhapsody and Hey Jude have the same exact piano.
I wonder how much that piano's worth.
No shit.
Like, that seems like something crazy like that like Jim Irsay would buy.
Mozart sold more CDs than Beyonce in 2016. You know what? I don't care for Beyonce that much anyways.
You're going to get attacked by the Beehive or Bayhive or whatever the fuck that thing's called.
Probably.
There's some pretty rabid fan bases. That's one that I wouldn't fuck with. That and the Swifties. But then again, we're with the Swifties.
We're with the Swifties. So if we got to go to battle, they already did it on that stage that one day. We remember. You remember. The infamous. I feel like we're going to have to do a part 2 of this.
I feel like music could be something that could get thrown in again.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, even if it's not us, like, we have completely different tastes than anyone else.
True.
And I'm sure, like, for instance, like you said, Flags and Gems, basically the same person. Right. They would probably agree the whole time. Or maybe not. Who knows? I honestly don't know what type of music Flags listens to.
We have a lot of the same taste, though. Like, we've talked about Morgan. We talked about Bubba Sparks. We talked.
We've talked a lot of country rap.
We've talked about a lot of country rap. We talked about Church.
Upchurch.
We talked about. We've talked about quite a few artists in either country or rap or both.
Or mixture. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's one of those things because music is the one thing that I think, like, it can, like, separate generations, but it's also crosses some. If you know what I mean, like some people, like, I don't like new rap music. I don't know how you feel about it, but there's, you know, some people from the younger generation that like my generation rap music or yours. And it's one of those things where everyone kind of has like an intersecting at least one genre, unless you're one of those sticklers who's like, I only listen to country from the 90s and that's it. Those people annoy me.
So for the newer rap, I do like Post.
Post Malone's good.
I feel like Post Malone. I feel like a lot of his songs sound similar, but I also like them. So it's like, well, whatever. If I like this one, I'm gonna like that one. So I'll listen to some of that. You know, I've got some new shit. G-Eazy, I'm a fan of. MGK.
Oakland guy.
Wow. All I listen to is white rappers apparently.
Dude, I'm telling, like, G-Eazy, MGK, Eminem.
Yeah.
The white chocolate affair, as you call it.
I'm a fan of Migos for sure. I don't know. I like a lot of things. My favorite rapper probably of all time is Young Jeezy or Jeezy. He's probably my favorite though. Another Atlanta guy.
I'm gonna sound like a bitch, but my favorite rapper of all time is probably Drake.
I don't know. I mean,
like I like old Drake. I love old Drake.
I don't know the difference. Like, if I hear a Drake song, I like it. I don't.
Yeah, there was a right before he got all like in your feelings about everything.
Okay, I remember that album because that's the album I bought. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, before
what is this, Drake?
Right before that, he had some like I'm Going In. Like he had some like decent pump up music. It was like him and Lil Wayne or like him and like someone else. It was pretty good. Like I loved that music. And then he started getting more into like touchy feely music, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I can do without it. But
well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the podcast you're listening to right now, I think we're gonna do this. What do we say? Like once a week?
Yeah, it's gonna be once a week. It'll be 2 different hosts every week. We already have next week's hosts like picked out. It got thrown through a randomizer. And on episode 2, we're gonna have Tanner, the Vanilla Gorilla, and JJ Flegel, aka Flegs. They're gonna be talking about women's sports.
That should be interesting.
It should be interesting. I mean, they're both, sports guys. Flegs, has daughters. Tanner is taking an interest in women's sports, so maybe they actually have something to talk about. I'm sure those two, unlike me, and I guess Marco actually came prepared. Unlike me, I should say, they're probably going to both come prepared. I just talk.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. Tanner and Flegs should be a pretty interesting conversation. They're both a lot more intelligent than either of us. So
yeah, we're pretty much idiots. But I feel like we handled music well. I think we talked about a lot of cool stuff.
What's funny is in our group text, they're like over under 30 arguments. Like this is the one thing like that we won't argue about because we both kind of,
we can argue about lettuce on tacos, which I'm in favor of.
We always argue about food.
Yeah. Smoothies.
In football, kind of.
Yeah. Well.
Most time we halfway agree, though. Most time I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
I argue with Tone about football.
I definitely agree there should be lettuce on tacos, though.
No. Let's not get into this. The people who listen to this, they shouldn't have to deal with that right now. Maybe if we ever get selected again and that is the topic.
We can talk about tacos then. Hell
if
yeah.
I swear to God, if we get paired up on Taco Week, it's
a battle royale.
That's one podcast I will come with the facts.
You don't have facts when you're coming against me with tacos, bro.
Oh, fuck off.
Anyways, thank you for listening in. And the Iron Ostrich Network, look for it on all of the social platforms. There should be something out soon. And we will have other podcasts dropping. So we'll see you around.
Yeah.